Guys, what's up? It's Zach back at here again for Down South Racing, and today I'm going to talk about something that pertains a little bit to the future, but it's something that I myself am kind of very curious about, and that's what Ford needs to do to ensure that the next generation of Mustang, the S650 as it's already been coded, I guess. This is the S550, 15 through 19 currently, and it's about 2 years out. I'm thinking about 3 years out, about 2021 or so, but I'm going to talk about what Ford needs to do with the S650 to ensure that the Mustang stays the top-selling sports car in America and is better than the Camaro and Challenger or whatever Dodge comes out with next, maybe like the Barracuda. I'm thinking about they're going to bring back that nameplate, but we're going to talk about what Ford needs to do to ensure that the Mustang stays on top. So here we go. All right, so to start it off, I'm going to start off a little bit off topic. Everyone knows that in 2015, Ford kind of shocked the industry when they came out with the military-grade aluminum body for the 2015 F-150. And it has done pretty well, even though despite Chevy's attempts to tell everyone that their high-strength steel bed is way better, and they've hired fake actors and done all these fake tests and stuff and dropped rocks at like the only angle that it would punch a hole in the Ford's body, the bed. But so despite all that, it has held up pretty well, and the F-Series is still the #1 selling vehicle in America. So that's pretty crazy. But something I wondered about is why they didn't bring the aluminum to the Mustang. Like, this thing still has a steel frame, and the only aluminum pieces are the fenders as far as this car goes. And so I think weight savings, that's what I'm getting into, is going to be the first and foremost thing that the S650 Mustang is going to have to address, because from S197, which is 05 to 14, and specifically like 2011 to 14 with the Coyotes, the biggest thing that the S550 got griped about with was the weight. It picked up a little bit over 100 pounds, or, you know, depending on the model, but the independent rear suspension and all the new safety equipment is very nice, and it makes the Mustang a lot better sports car wise. But as far as what most people do with their Mustang, which is drag race and stuff, it kind of penalized the Mustang, even though the extra power, when it first came out, they bumped it up 15 horsepower and 10 pound-feet of torque. It kind of negated it a little bit. The S197 cars could launch quite a bit better because of the solid rear axle, the SRA, the solid rear end in the rear, and they're a little bit lighter, so that helped them out quite a bit. The weight savings is going to help the Mustang, not so much just against itself, but as the main competitor to the Mustang has always been the Camaro. And when Chevy came out with the 6th-gen Camaros, it rides on the same Alpha platform as all the Cadillac models and stuff. And so that means it's an aluminum space frame type of deal, and it lost almost a couple 100 pounds. So the Mustang and the Camaro kind of switched. The 6th-gen Camaro is actually lighter than the 6th-gen Mustang in many aspects. And so in order for the Mustang to remain on top and stuff. Now, the 2018s are faster, and the 2018s are faster than a 2018 Camaro thanks to the 10-speed and the revised 5.0, but in 2019 the Camaros are going to get the same 10-speed automatic, and more than likely they will be faster yet again. So Ford is really going to have to step it up in terms of weight savings to keep up with the competition. Step number 2 is going to be that Ford is going to have to upgrade the chassis, and this is kind of obviously apparent, and, you know, as does everyone when they move along in generations of a car, they upgrade the chassis so as for what they think. But the 2018 Performance Pack Level 2 was just lapped at Laguna Seca, and it's still slower than the 2016 6th-gen Camaro SS1LE. So that means that Ford is definitely going to have to button down the Mustang, even though the Mustang is a more comfortable ride. If they want it to be able to compete on the track, they're going to have to button it down, maybe take a few notes from like the Shelby GT350 and GT350R with its magnetic suspension and setups like that, because if you're going to offer a track package to compete with something and you come out second, you should be better. You shouldn't be worse. So that's just the second thing that's going to happen. They're going to have to upgrade the chassis, make it stiffer, stuff like that. The third thing they're going to have to do, and probably most obvious and most apparent, is that they're going to have to upgrade the engine, as you always have to do with your cars when they come out, new cars and stuff. Even though the 3rd generation Coyote with its direct injection and port injection dual fuel, and it's a little bit bigger, you know, it's 5,038 cc's versus 4,951 in Gen 1 and Gen 2, is a monster. And the 2018 intake manifold, they're going to have to find a way to bump up the power. You know, like the Bullet makes 480 now, even though it's probably still underrated thanks to the GT350 intake manifold and cold air and throttle body. But you know, Ford's going to have to come up with a way to probably even eclipse the 480 mark or get very close. The Bullet will be kind of, I assume, what the benchmark will kind of be, because it'll be kind of like the Boss 302 and the S197. It made 444 horsepower, and then the S550 came out and only made 435. So I would expect a bump of like, you know, 475 or so rated from the factory, and that will definitely mean that the Mustang at that point will be making 500 horsepower, because as you all know, the 2018's dyno at almost 430 or above, so that's put them in the 490 to 500 range already. So if Ford comes out and bumps that up another 15 horsepower, it'd definitely be in the 500 horsepower range, and that will better allow it to keep up with the competition and even beat the competition just straight from the factory. Alright guys, so fourth thing that Ford's going to have to upgrade with the S650 Mustang are the powertrain options. And what I mean by that is fuel economy standards are going to be more severe, I guess, in the upcoming years. And so what they're going to have to do, I assume that they're definitely going to come out with a hybrid Mustang, but that's going to be EcoBoost models at first, and it will deliver like V8 levels of torque, even though it probably won't have as much horsepower and won't be as fast as a V8. It'll probably make as much or more torque with the turbo 4-cylinder. But Ford is definitely going to have to consider hybridizing all of their models or downsizing. And as much as that sucks to say it, you know, like the 5.0 is awesome, but it is a big, thirsty V8, and it does pretty good, actually, you know, gets 25, 26 miles to the gallon, but they're going to have to consider downsizing to meet the EPA standards that are up and coming. Fifth and finally, they're obviously going to have to change up the look, but they're going to have to make sure that the Mustang still looks like a Mustang. You know, that was a big gripe with the S550. I think when it first came out, you know, like very first when it came out, was that it looked very, very modern, and it didn't really look retro like the older, you know, generations of Mustang. Kind of harked back to the original style of Mustangs. The S550 took the Mustang in a totally new direction, and while that's very awesome to some people, a lot of the purist Mustang owners did not like it at first. So it's going to be tough, you know, for Ford, especially. Like the 18s were the same way. When they came out, nobody liked them, literally no one, and now everyone has seen them in person, everyone's seen them on the road in all the different colors, and everybody loves them. So, you know, the S650 is going to have to take another step beyond. It's going to, I assume, going to be even more of a modern look. That's just kind of the way, you know, things are going in terms of car design here lately. Nobody's really doing any harking back to the old times, because older designs just, you know, plain and simple aren't as good as newer designs. And so it'll be very polarizing, I'm sure, when it first comes out. But, you know, Ford is very much so going to have to, you know, make sure that it has Mustang DNA. And it's going to have to, you know, form follows function and stuff like that, but they're going to have to improve the aerodynamics, going to have to improve all the body lines. Like I said, you know, that'll tie in with all the other upgrades that they're going to have to do, but it's just something to think about. And so guys, Ford is getting ready to send off the S550 generation of Mustang, at least in my own opinion, with the GT500 that's going to come out here in a few months, probably in January at like the NAIS and stuff like that, but or Detroit, but I'm not entirely sure exactly when they're going to release it, but it's going to be a monster of a car. It's going to have well over 700 horsepower. I personally think it's going to have a 10-speed automatic, even though there are rumors of a dual clutch. I think it's going to have 10-speed auto. I think it's just going to, if it had a dual clutch, I think the cost would go up too much, and this car is going to be really special, guys, so keep a lookout for that. But guys, again, you know, obviously upgrades are pretty normal, you know, in terms of, you know, everything that everybody upgrades when they come out with a new generation of car. But Mustang, you know, is especially because right now the Mustang is the #1 selling sports car in the entire world, not just the United States. They went global with the S550, so they're going to have to, you know, up the ante again to keep it in that ranking. But guys, that's going to just about do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Comment down below what you all think Ford is going to do with the next generation of Mustang, what you think they need to do, what you think they need to bring back. You know, if you like what's already on the current generation of Mustang, you know, comment down below, let me know what you all think they should keep. And again, comment down below also what, you know, is going to be the main competition of the Ford Mustang S650 in 2021 or so. You know, I'd love to know, because Chevy's about to come out with the mid-engine Corvette and stuff like that. There's a lot of car news. I'm sure obviously the Camaro will take a lot of learn technology from the mid-engine Corvette and apply it to itself. So everybody's going to be stepping up their game, guys, but the Mustang definitely is going to have to step it up a ton to stay in the game and stay on top of the game. So guys, please subscribe if you haven't already. We put out videos every other day at a minimum. Sorry, I can't talk, but I am Zach. There's a couple other guys on the channel, so check out our videos. Drop this video a like. But until next one, guys, peace out, and I will see you then.